Welcome to a new thing I'll be doing from now on called Trans Rants. As I previously said, I am traditionalist in two ways. Namely, my support for strong families and a strong social fabric, and my old school views on LGBT matters, such as the idea that gender isn't a social construct and the idea that gender dysphoria is a medical matter. Given that the cultural landscape is about to get crazy, like in every other US election year, I think I'll have a lot to say about these matters for the rest of the year. Today, I'll be talking about a new video from Blaire, who some regard as the most famous trans conservative personality online. This video, titled "I'm Not Really Trans," is about how she is often assumed to be not trans in Twitter interactions because she doesn't hold opinions that are typical of the trans people who hang out on Twitter. She gives examples of how people actually told her to stand in the shoes of a trans person, how she doesn't understand trans people, and so on. It's a very familiar theme by now, right? In fact, it's what I've come to expect from Blaire. To me, her whole thing is how I'm not like the other trans people. It's part of the genre of I'm not like the other girls, I'm not like the other gays, and so on. However, is Blaire really not like the average trans person? I somehow doubt that. In fact, what she described, being assumed to be a biological woman, especially in online discussions, is probably the typical experience for most trans women in everyday life. The major exception here is trans activists, the people who, tend to put their pronouns everywhere and perhaps use an anime cat girl as their avatar. They may be loud on Twitter, but they are definitely the minority. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Blaire's content often gives me the impression that she thinks most trans people behave like the ones on Twitter and Tumblr, and that she is so special for not acting that way. Maybe it's also because she lives in LA, where I've heard that people can be a bit dramatic, because hey, it's Hollywood. But outside of that bubble, Blaire's just like the rest of us, the silent majority who generally have nothing to do with those left Twitter and Tumblr types in real life. Somehow, she is making a virtue out of just being normal, which I didn't think was possible before now. It's amazing how left Twitter and Tumblr have changed how some people see the world, so up is down and down is up. Nothing seems to make sense anymore. I really miss 2008 thinking about it. By the way, what does Blaire mean when she identifies as a conservative? Is it because she supports Donald Trump? As I often say, there's really not that much that is conservative about Trump. Biden is easily more of a conservative if we take that word by its traditional meaning. I am a traditionalist, so I generally prefer that words retain their traditional meaning. Conservatives are big on family values, strengthening the social fabric, keeping traditional institutions alive and well, and so on. I don't get the impression that Blaire is particularly passionate about these things, at least to the level that I am passionate about them. Real conservatism isn't about owning the libs who ironically turned out to actually hate liberalism. That's just politics as an identity badge, the more cunning but just as meaningless twin of identity politics as we know it. In this dumbed down culture, I suspect some people think that conservative is like when you refuse to put your pronouns in your social profiles. But that's just plain old resisting the social pressure to follow the fashion of the day. It's not even political. The thing is, I really want to know what aspects of conservative or traditionalist thinking Blaire actually identifies with. I seriously hope it's not just another case of politics as an identity badge. That's all for today. I'll be back next time to discuss another big idea. Subscribe if you want to follow our story. And remember to resist the hive mind and stay positive. The world depends on it.